Good morning, Dog Nation and college football fans. Hope everybody's doing well today. And some of your teams are playing for championships today, and some of your teams are sitting at home on the couch. So, with that being said, who's got the edge today in the SEC championship game? We're going to talk about that for a little bit this morning, and while we do a little bit of driving and talking, on this Saturday morning, about 50 degrees, raining where I'm at. But before we get to that, hit that thumbs up, share out the video. We are trying to grow this channel, just getting started, and up and coming. I think we're sitting at about 208 subscribers right now, so not bad. For not being as consistent as we want, that sort of thing. And like I said, we're doing this for fun and just having a good time doing it. So I've enjoyed it so far. But yeah, hit that thumbs up, share out the video, click the subscribe button on YouTube. It's free. It's a great way to help out the channel grow, whether you agree, disagree, whatever it may be. We love to go back and forth in the comment section, that sort of thing. If you're over on TikTok, hit it with a heart, share it out as well. Give us a follow. But so Saturday, 4 p.m. That's today at 4 p.m. Dawgs take on the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the SEC championship game will be the second meeting this year. Obviously, we know the history of Georgia beating Alabama, which is not a lot, right? We know the history of Kirby's record against Alabama, so we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But who's got the edge today in this Georgia-Bama game? Look, for me, just looking at it all week, trying to go back and forth, and me and Ryan, who does the channel with me, going back and forth as well. We know the history of this game as far as the Bama versus Georgia history. And if you're strictly going by that, you have every right. Anybody would think, okay, well, Bama's winning this game. That's, it's not even going to be close, right? It seems like in the past, it hasn't mattered who had the better team. There's been multiple years Georgia's had the better team than Alabama, when you look at paper, right? But it's Georgia finds a way to lose it, and Bama finds a way to win it in some different type fashion. But I will say Kirby, hasn't lost in a rematch, of the same teams in the SEC championship at all. So, for me, whatever we do in the locker room, whatever speeches, pep talks, whatever we give in the locker room before we play Bama, usually doesn't work. So maybe we need to try, a different approach and go with some kind of different speech or whatever, because it's clearly there's some kind of mental block there when facing Bama. It was something. I don't know what it is. I'm not in the locker room, and I'm not the players and that sort of thing. But there's clearly something that's always just holding us back a little bit when we play Bama. Outside of the time when we have beat them, which has been very few. But say all that to say, today's a new day. We're playing for an SEC championship. I personally think, as a fan, the SEC championship still means something. I think it's a very tough conference. And look, I'm no SEC guy that goes around pounding his chest saying, oh, Georgia's in the best conference and that sort of thing. It's clearly everybody has their opinion. And I do think the SEC is a tough conference. But if we look at it from a whole, I mean, the Big Ten has been a very good conference as well. I mean, they've won the national title. So, you can go back and forth. You got the Big Ten people to do the same thing, saying, oh, well, Ohio State plays in the Big Ten. It's the best conference, yada, yada, yada. So I think both conferences are good. But we're not here to talk about which conference is better. I think that the SEC championship still means something with the conference and the tough schedule that you have to play in the SEC and grind, and it's tough every week. Getting to the SEC championship, I think, as a fan, still means something. So I'm excited for Georgia to go to their 5th straight SEC championship, potentially, come home with another SEC championship, and then get ready for the playoffs. And but who has the edge today, right? So I think for me, just looking at it, Georgia has improved tremendously on the defensive side of the ball since that Alabama game when they first played in September. So I think Georgia has improved tremendously when it comes to the defense. Over the last 3 to 4 weeks, they've been getting after the quarterback. The pressure's been really good. The pass rush has been good. The defensive backs have been playing better. They've been playing better because the pass rush has been there. Look, at the end of the day, if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, your defensive backs can't sit there and cover all of the wide receivers for that amount of time, right? Like, you got to be able to establish some kind of pass rush. But what hurt Georgia in the first game was obviously the third downs, right? Like, couldn't get much pressure on Ty Simpson. I think first half, I think I saw where Bama was 9 for 9 on third downs in the first half. I mean, I remember making a video about it and just nothing. I mean, Ty Simpson had all day to throw. So that can't happen today, right? Like, we cannot allow that to happen. And the way Georgia's defense has been playing over the last several weeks, especially, I don't think that will happen today. I think we will be able to get pressure on Ty Simpson, get him off his spot, make him potentially maybe make some mistakes from that side of the ball with his passing. And I think we'll be okay from a defensive standpoint. Bama's going to score. It's not like we're going to hold them to 0 points. Like, I don't expect that at all. But I do expect Georgia's defense to C.J. Allen being back, being able to get pressure on him, kind of like what Auburn did, get pressure on him, get him off the spot, and, be able to get some sacks. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say minimum today, defense gets 3 sacks. Minimum defense gets 3 sacks. Offensively for Georgia, obviously that was very early in the season. Gunner was a true starter, still is a true starter, right? In his first full year in the SEC. I mean, if you go back and watch the game, or if you're into film studies and things like that, check out the guys on YouTube and stuff like that do film study. I mean, I personally like to watch Brooks Austin, the film guy. I think he does a really good job. I think, like I said, he does a good job. I've been watching former Damn Good Dog, Bellamy. He's been doing some too, which have been really, really good as well. But I mean, if you look at the way Gunner played that game, I mean, like I said, he was very, very young still, very not mature in reading defenses and things like that. I mean, he's gotten so much better. But I say all that to say, when I was watching like just video of the film guy doing breakdown. I mean, there was people open, right? Gunner just wasn't confident in himself to be able to make those decisions. Now, he has improved tremendously, and I think he's done a very good job this year, you know, for Georgia. Now, I will say also, over the last few games, seems like he's been rattled a little bit. He made some mistakes throwing the ball when it comes to interceptions. But we need Gunner to just be cool, calm, and collective. We need him to just trust in his O-line and you know, be able to read the defense, use his legs when he needs to use his legs, and just make good plays. And I think we'll be fine on offense. Look, we rushed for over 200 and something yards on them the first game we played them this year, and they still haven't been able to stop the run. So I believe it was 270 yards, if I'm not mistaken. And they couldn't stop us running the ball. You know, I think there was some costly, you know, in my opinion, some costly mistakes we made at the coaching staff, you know, made, and, you know, not taking the 3 early in the game. Obviously, Talon Taylor drops that touchdown pass, true freshman. So, you know, it is what it is. But offensively, I think we'll be fine as long as we can get very, very good play from the center position. So I think that's the key on offense is, are we going to get the great play and the quarterback of the offensive line in your center position with Bobo being out? You know, I think a lot of people have taken Drew Bobo for granted, and that guy's going to be playing in the NFL. He's the quarterback of the offensive line, calling out protections, getting everybody in the right positions, Gunner trusting, you know, that sort of thing. So for me, from an offensive standpoint, it's, you know, are we going to get that play from Tolliver, Glover, you know, who are, you know, they've gotten reps, but they haven't gotten reps, you know what I mean, from a high pressure situation like they're going to get today. I would love to even see like Michael Morris play center, you know, and change that up, because we know he's a good offensive lineman in general. But so really don't know who's going to start. I'm sure when the lineups come out, you may see Tolliver, you may see Glover. You know, who knows? So for me, from an offensive standpoint today, we got to get the play from. So, like I was saying, you know, we got to get that play from the center position, and it's got to be very, very good. And if that happens, I think we'll be fine on offense. Look, injuries are going to happen. Alabama's got injuries as well. It's got to be the next man up mentality, and who can rise to the occasion. So for me, offensively, we got to get that play from the center position, and defensively, we got to obviously get pressure on Ty Simpson, win third down, get like I said, I'm calling minimum 3 sacks on Ty Simpson today, and I think we'll be fine. So hopefully we'll be, you know, hoisting the trophy as SEC champs and then getting ready for the playoffs. But look, that's my preview of the game today. I can see a score of 24-21 Dawgs, maybe 30-27, 27-24, something like that. Dawgs winning the SEC championship this year. So we'll see, you know, and we'll have a good day. Go Dawgs.